Hello, everyone, and welcome to the KeenGamer podcast. I'm your host, Marco Callahan, and we have a fun episode for you guys today because we get to welcome the return of the real. I forgot your Twitter handle. The real Jesse Resi. Did I just
Re-
make that up?
Resi Jesse.
Resi Jesse.
You come up with a new
Jessica
Twitter
Orr.
handle. Everyone. I'm back. I'm out of Wi-Fi prison. I can actually do things. Hey.
Yes. If you didn't know, Jessica actually did the GTA hack. She wanted to find out if it was real, and good news for you, Jess. It's real. Bad news is, so is prison.
You're all welcome.
I like that's your official statement. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Did you get advice from your counseling?
Not yet.
Your legal counsel?
Was that bad? Is that not a standard comment to make on hacking Rockstar and Uber?
Maybe. I don't know, but you know who's a good person, Jessica? I don't know. Nolan Rosenthal.
Hey,
I almost said
going,
Daniel
Mark?
Boyd. I'm like, he's not in the podcast. I can't suck up to him. Noah, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mark. How are you?
I am good. I have an Eagles and a money line parlay, so fly, Eagles, fly. Caca!
That's one of the Pokemon leakers, Kaka.
Really?
Appropriate.
Yeah, he calls himself Kaka.
You can just make stuff up. It'll be like, go to a cocktail party, be like, hey, did you know that Pokemon leaker, Caca? And everyone will be like, we didn't invite you.
What are you talking about Pokemon at this cocktail party for?
But as Noah mentioned, this episode will be all about video game leaks. Which, is it good? Is it bad? Well, it's complicated. That's the answer. And other than that, we'll be talking about EA. Actually, both stories are from EA. They are working on an Iron Man game, and we have some Ted Lasso content. But before we get all that, let's talk about the games we're playing right now. And Jess, we're both playing another game. This feels like Stray and The Quarry all over again.
Oh, yeah, we've aligned. What's more?
Yeah, but we were a year late, I think. I don't know. So we have been playing Deathloop. I've been playing it for the first time. You? Question mark?
I have been playing it for the second time, but I never completed it the first time.
Oh, shame on you.
Thanks for that. Do you know what makes it worse? I got right to the end.
Why would you do that to yourself? What came out that you're like, I gotta pause?
Well, let's see. There was Elden Ring, Tunic, Dying Light 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, Horizon, which I was going to play but never got around. It was that, extremely busy period where everyone was extremely tired covering games. And I was I knew I was doing the guide for Dying Light 2. And in my head, I was like, I need to complete this before it comes out because I won't do it then. And I didn't do it.
Okay, fair enough. Dying Light 2 came out in January. It's not like this game came out in September 2021, but
Yeah, I got the game during Christmas break, so end of December, start of January. Yeah, I held off on September again because it was really busy, but couldn't resist.
Busy with your life, or what was going on in September?
Oh, we're just doing a whole Jessica breakdown. That was
this is your grand return. I'm like, who is Jessica Orr?
Did you ever have Through the Keyhole in America?
The what?
Through the Keyhole? I take it you didn't.
Through the Keyhole?
No, celebrities would come on a show and then they oh God, what was it again? Anyway, it was like, let's have a look at your life through the keyhole. And they go into the house and show you the thing. This is my house. This is my episode of Through the Keyhole.
Jessica, this is what we call MTV Cribs.
Well, no, this was an extremely posh BBC version.
And you're saying the MTV Cribs wasn't posh? Talked about luxury, where the magic happens?
It was high bar content, I'll give it that.
Fair enough. Just like Deathloop. Whoa, segue.
Whoa, bring it back. Yeah.
TV stream.
In September, I was working KeenGamer, Game Rant, and my real life job. So I was like, and I had 3 reviews to do in 2 weeks. I remember that. That was a very stressful time.
Oh my gosh. It took me forever in terms of like the gaming environment to put that like The Last of Us Part 1, which you can find on KeenGamer.com plugin. But damn, 2 reviews in 1 week.
3 in 2 weeks. I don't know if that's
Actually, let
better
me
or
say,
worse.
were they all games?
Yes.
Oh, that's even worse. I'm like, TV movies, I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Plug them right now if you want to go back. What was it? Lake. That like little indie cozy game, and it wasn't so cozy, and I was like, I gotta rush this. It was called Hindsight 50/50 Wrath of the Rakshasha. The only reason I remember that is because I had to write it down so many times and make sure I was getting it right. It was another indie one, and then the other one was another indie one. It was what was it called? Necro Barista Final Pour.
Oh, you're hyping up that game.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Good game.
Is
But yes,
it a
that's
life
why I
sim?
didn't get Deathloop. A life sim?
Yeah, the barista game.
Oh
Like
no,
you
it was
run a cafe.
yeah, it's kind of like just a visual novel, but it was like 3D.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Side note, I'll be talking about Bear and Breakfast next week.
Yay.
Let's go. Anyway,
Mm.
back to Deathloop. So why a second time?
Because it came on Game Pass. I'm sure you probably saw it and was like, yeah, she's probably playing it on Game Pass. So I can play it in my bed this time instead of in the living room. And I thought I'd just because it was the new you must be playing it for 2. You got the update on PlayStation. Is it called the Golden Loop update?
I don't know if came on PlayStation Plus, so
It was a free update because of the 1-year anniversary. And in my mind, basically just remember this is on Xbox now. Play it. It's not just on PlayStation, but PlayStation people get it too. You get like new gun, new area. But if you're going into it fresh, it'll be just playing the game for you. How are you
yeah.
liking it so far? Yeah, have you played any other Arcane Leon games before?
I have played a little. They made Dishonored, right?
Yeah, Dishonored and
Okay.
Prey.
So I played a little of that and sucked at it. Yet again, that was years ago. When I eventually get an Xbox, I'll definitely come back to it because I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass, right?
It is indeed.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I just started last night because I
Okay.
had so much other stuff to do. I always hate actually when I say that. I'm like, oh, if I had so much other stuff to do. It's like, Mark, you were editing articles, you passed out, you thought about making food, you decided to finally make food 2 hours later. You weren't busy, you were just lazy.
So every time you say I had other things to do, this is this is the exact scenario.
What do you think I am? Curing cancer? No, I'm looking at food videos and be like, ooh, this is good. But basically, like, so this is a little confusing. So the game starts out, you finally like get the code, like you play as Cole, it's the whole time loop, Groundhog's Day. I'm pretty sure what was the Tom Cruise movie, the Tomorrow War?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Live over here was
Yeah.
called Live Die Repeat, I think.
Oh,
That
that's
one?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, the Tomorrow War was the Chris Pratt. Which, by the way, I can't wait until 2 weeks from now when we talk about that Mario teaser.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole. Do you know what? We could dedicate a whole podcast to it, like a breakdown.
That, and it's like, let's etch it tomorrow. That's what it was. But I remember the Lift I Repeat. So
Mhm.
just basically that thing. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that Mario movie podcast.
Be a fun one.
It's gonna be so fun.
Wahoo!
Me. Hey, it's your me. It's your Mario. But and it's this weird thing of like at a certain point, really in the beginning, they're like, "Welcome to Deathloop," and they give you and they just throw out a bunch of stuff like, "This is your perks, this is your vat," and I don't mean like you move throughout the level. it's basically like this is the title screen. Do you know what I mean, Jessica?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you talking about when you start the game or when you get to a certain point and it's just giving you the tutorials?
Giving you the tutorial, and I
Mhm.
don't mean like tutorials in other game. Like it's weird that I'm using the same example in this game, but it's like use this button to run, use this button to jump, this is shoe, hey, this is your gadget. Like that's like your standard thing. It's fine. It's more of like they give you the screen and it's basically like the title like loadout of like
Right.
these are your
Yes.
weapons, these are that, these are your missions, and it's like whoa. I don't have to be exactly like Cole and be confused.
I will say with that, yeah, you're right, Mark. It's very because going back to it, you get something later on. I don't know if you've got it yet. I'm not going to spoil it. And I forgot you don't get it like really early on, and I'm like, what the hell? Where's this? Because I played it before. I was like, what's going on? Because they don't explain it, obviously, because it's not there yet. But you're right, they throw a lot of crap at you. They're like, here's your trinkets, these are slabs, this is your
Exactly.
weapons. They don't carry over between loops. You have to pick up this every time, and then the same screen has like the 4 areas you can go to. So it's like, what was it? Carl's Bay, Fristag Rock, like all these separate places where you have to kill the visionaries to try and, break the loop. But it's all on that one screen, and that's also how you advance the time if you want to do something. You're totally right. It was a lot right at the beginning to throw at you.
Jess, you lost me halfway through. What?
Yeah.
And listen, the game is beautiful. I love like I don't know if this is like a Bethesda thing. Just like the retro style of like 70s exploitation kind of feel, a little grainy, a little grindhouse, mixed with that sunset. Oof, I love a sunset, Jess.
It's so good. It's such like a slick style. Like I will tell you, it gets better when you get used to all that, and then when it starts to flow, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go towards this visionary first and find out how to do this, and oh, I'll actually go and get myself a weapon here because it's the leads. I don't know if you've got the tutorial for when you get the investigative leads for things.
Yes.
That might have been in the same info dump.
Yeah, it's like you can spoil the end of the game. I'm like, was that in the info dump?
Yeah.
But
But yeah, all that gets better, and then I feel like it flows really well into it. But with Deathloop, my main takeaway is that Arcane Leon has like tricked me into playing Dishonored because I played Dishonored a little bit of 1 and a little bit of 2, and didn't really click with them as much as I did Prey. I think you'd really love Prey, Mark. It's more of like an immersive sim, and it's again they have really good style. It's on a space station. It's got nothing to do with the old Prey games, and it's like this creature can like morph into different objects, so it's kind of got a little bit of horror thing. Something could just jump out at you any moment, and you have to get it. I loved Prey, and like Dishonored was cool, but I never really got into that like Victorian styled.
like
Um,
steampunk.
yeah, like I like it, but for some reason it didn't really click with the stealth gameplay. I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. But Deathloop was like tricked me. It's like, oh, look at this sleek, stylish, funny, incredibly voice acted game. The girl who plays
Oh,
Juliana, Uzioma Akaha, I think. She's incredible. She's so good at like making you hate her because everyone's thing was like, oh, I hate Juliana. I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
and I'm like, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if I'm like, wait a second. Am I rooting for you? Like, I have no clue what's going on with that character.
Yeah.
But the actress just like completely souls me. Like, I can hate a character, but I can't hate a performance. It's kind of like Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Hate the bastard. Pun intended, because he's actually a bastard. But I'm playing it on the guy who plays Joffrey. Oh
I can't
my
remember
god.
either.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, agreed. You're right.
he tells stories about like people stopping him on the street to tell them like to yell at him because of his Joffrey performance because he was so good
Yeah,
at being
and
hateful.
he's like, I just want to be an accountant. That's actually what he wants to do. Like,
Wow. He reached his
good on
acting
him.
peak. Yeah. Being
He's
horrible
like,
to everyone.
done. I want to play with numbers. But with me, like, I'm definitely like invested in Deathloop. Like, I'm still like, I'm still crawling, Jessica. Which I wish I could show you a video or share the video. My youngest nephew is starting to crawl, but he's starting to crawl like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Like he crawls with one foot is just limping, and he's like using his upper body to like just moves, and he's like a little like precious.
That sounds more to me like Anakin on was it Mustafar?
Mustafar.
No, coming out of the lava.
I'm
Hopefully
sorry,
not that.
Teddy, but I have the high ground. And he's starting to cry. I'm like, you were the chosen one. And then everyone's yelling like, dude, pick up your kid. I'm like, I loved you like a brother. Tune in for the podcast where I reenact the whole prequel trilogy.
I feel like we could all do that between us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But
Wait,
I'm
are you
still, like,
enjoying Deathloop then? Like the beginnings of it, or like how are you? Like where have you got to?
Deathloop is just a reminder that I suck at stealth.
Yeah.
Like I saw like two people that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take you out. I took out this guy, and what I didn't know, there was 8 people in that area, just in a group. I'm like, what? But hey, so far I like it, and I know, like, I'm not gonna say the premise, the whole time loop thing. Like, you're supposed to like, I'm not gonna say suck at the game, but it's like you'll learn by each loop.
Exactly. It's kind of like a sort of puzzle that you have to put together to try and how are you going to kill basically the basic premise is how are you going to kill all these visionaries at once. And it's really satisfying when that came together at the end. Like that's where I got to basically. I was like, I know how to do this. And then I stopped playing. But yeah, it's a very satisfying game. But again, I suck at stealth. And this time around, the first time I really did try and be stealth because I had the time, it was over like a Christmas break. So I was like, I'll try and do it. And I was able to build up an arsenal. Like it was really cool. This time around, I'm like, I just want to get to that point really quickly. So I'm dying a lot this time around. But also I've noticed how not forgiving they are, but this power, I don't know if you've got it yet, Mark. It's like cult's power, it's reprise. So you can come back
Yes.
2 times and then you die basically. So you have to start again or lose your stuff. I'm dying quite a lot in this, but also it's fine because I come back and then I can just go do what I want and then finish it. So while I do suck at stealth and they've tricked me into playing another stealth game, because it's just such a great looking game, it's also okay if not run and gun. Like you do need to be a little bit stealthy, but it's kind of forgiving that way.
Like I'm more of like, yeah, I'll stealth kill like a couple of people. And then I'm like, I'm bored. And maybe like first person stealth, I'm not as good, but in an Assassin's Creed, for example,
Yeah.
I'm a little better.
Understandable. And anybody who's
Or
played
like
Dishonored and hasn't played Deathloop, like this is basically Dishonored. They even have a very similar power. And yes, when you get all your powers near the end, Mark, it's so much fun.
Ooh.
Like it like where you get in the pick and choose what you want to do. You don't just have to do like this is standard stealth stuff at the beginning, you know, be quiet, sneak up, do your melee kills, get them, maybe use the nail gun and take them out. When you have your powers, a lot more fun.
I'm hype. This has been the KeenGamer podcast. If you want to check out more articles on KeenGamer.com, I'm like, damn, Jessica, now I want to play.
Oh, maybe I should be in Arcane's PR.
Yeah. Ooh. Are they hiring? Red Dawn's coming out. I'm excited for that.
Redfall?
Redfall.
Yeah. Red Dawn was a movie in the 80s and remade with Josh Peck.
Probably. I was going to say there's probably a remake coming out, but if it's already one there.
It with Chris Hemsworth and Josh Peck.
Lovely.
And guess what, listeners? You can mention that at your next cocktail party. You're welcome. But anything else about Deathloop before we go on to Morrowind?
Oh, I'm trying to think if there's anything like really important I haven't colored. I guess can't really emphasize enough how much like the style's really good. Like you know when people were in Persona 5 were like, oh, even the UI looks good. Even the UI looks good in this. When you pause, when you end a loop, when you go into a different thing, it's so stylish.
And you know what I'm curious about? Even though I'm not a PC gamer, until you get me that Steam Deck, Jessica.
On the way.
Ah, you said it. Quarter 4, let's go. I'm so curious about the mods in this.
Yeah, true. Is it out on PC? It's bound to be out on PC.
I think it's out on PC.
Oh yeah, so it just came out. You're right, because PlayStation exclusive. Yeah,
But
it's out. Yeah, you're right. That's gonna be fun.
basically, like, I'm not even looking for like any gameplay mods. You know what I want? I want 70s funk in there.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
Give me the OJs, man. Oh no. Oh, okay. I'll explain why I said oh no. There's my neighbors have like little fishes, and they're freaking out about this heron. That's like,
What?
yeah, a heron. You know what a heron is, a bird.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so they're like, stay away, and I just see like those big flap, and I'm like, uh-oh. The fish, you better hide, man.
It's tense. Keep us
Never seen
updated.
it. I know. Thank you. This is what happens when you're near fresh water. Speaking of fresh water, Noah, how's Morrowind treating you?
It's treating me very well. I'm doing. I got a lot further with the House Redoran quest, so I built my stronghold, Bal Isra. So it's located just a bit. It's like between Margon and Aldrun, so very very near to the Red Mountain. It's a cool location for a house, and you get this nice little community when you build it. There's like the big manor house where most of the staff is, and there's these scattered houses around where like the guards live, where the mage lives, and where like the blacksmith lives. So yeah, I'm enjoying what I put together there. Then yeah, and I just moved all my stuff into it and kind of organized it how I like. So now I've got one of those never-ending loot bags. I dropped the items to make sure it was positioned exactly where I wanted it, just to the left of my bed behind the door. So
Nice.
so for Bethesda fans out there, there's this thing you can do there. In any interior cell, there's a limit to how many items you can just drop, which kind of creates a storage problem, because in Morrowind storage just kind of sucks. That every container has a limit to the amount of stuff you can put into it, and so you solve that by just dropping the stuff in an interior cell for storage, and eventually, after a certain amount of items, it will spawn in what's called an overflow loot bag. So that has a never-ending storage limit. At least on the new Xboxes, it's unlimited. I'm not sure if it was, but back then. So now once you got those, you can just kind of like anywhere inside the cell, just drop an item, and when you come back, it'll be in there.
That reminds me, Noah, of when I played Skyrim for the first time. It had been a while since I played Oblivion, so I forgot about these like things. I put all of my stuff that I'd ever collected for the entire first 10 hours in like a box in the first town. And I went back just one time random and it was all gone.
Oops.
I was like, that was like everything I had just in this random box outside this house.
Yeah, in the later games, I don't remember so much about Oblivion, but yeah, there's certain containers that you got to pick where it is. Like you got to make sure it's a safe one. And in Oblivion, I think the first safe chest you get, where like you can just endlessly put stuff in there and it'll always be there unless you take it out, is in Wayne and Priory. I think they provide you with something. Really, that's designed to be like a place you can use as a home, so you don't need to buy a home right away. All right, so yeah, in Skyrim you get it's Raylof's. It's either Rayloff or Hadvar's house, depending on who you leave Helgen with. So yeah, you kind of get that as your safe storage place, and yeah, but in Morrowind you get Caius Kosaid's house pretty early on, but like I said, there's a storage limit, so you gotta get one of those overflow loot bags. And yeah, it works pretty well because it kind of also organizes the items for you. It designates them by like what it is and then alphabetically. So it works pretty well. So yeah, I'm pleased with what I have set up there. It's just a matter of travel from there. It's kind of a bit more than you want it to be. So I may move back to Balmora at some point just for convenience, but I want to get use out of the place I built. So I'm going to keep living there for the foreseeable future.
One thing I wanted to ask you, do you have a character like you had in Fallout 4? It was Ruby. Who's your character this time?
His name is Dralsif Tiranov. It's a name I concocted just from other Dunmer names, because thing with Morrowind is because you're kind of this prophetic hero, you can't really imagine it as not a Dunmer. So yeah, it's like one common criticism of Morrowind, but it was kind of unavoidable. So yeah, so if you're a person who's like a completionist, then the main quest is like part of like what you're doing. Like it doesn't really make sense not to be a Dunmer. So I always play as a Dunmer. I joined House Radorin because that's like the warrior house. So I want to do like a warrior kind of character. Yeah, I'm pleased with him. He looks the part. Your customization is limited in Morrowind, so
Yeah.
so I picked the face that kind of has the scar and the red eyes. So I'm pleased with him. But yeah, ultimately in a game like that, his identity really comes down to like what house he joins, because that's really the thing you pick in that game. So. Yeah, so I kind of just imagine that he's like a House Radorin noble who's also the prophetic hero.
Nice. You always go way better than me with my my characters, like way better. I make them basically just look ridiculous. But you go through the real role playing stuff, which I really like. That's like Bethesda style right there.
The story you tell yourself is what they say. They love hearing stories about your role plays. Yeah, it's a great concept. You can be who you want instead of who you have to be.
You play Dungeons and Dragons, though? I feel like you'd be great at it.
I actually don't, but people tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like having like the visual though, like being able to actually see my character rather than just imagine who they are.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've done since last time I reported on Morrowind.
Mark, have you zoned out?
How dare you? I thought you was about to finish.
Oh, he has, yeah. He zoned out. No, we caught him. We caught him. Call yourself a host.
Update us on the heron and the fish.
Yeah.
I don't see that big wing man. Huge wingspan. It's like whew. All that. And right now, live update for me. I'm like, gosh, my allergies. Like rubbing my eye. I know, great podcasting. So I'm really debating if I should just be like a poker player and just, And then these are cheap sunglasses I got for free. And then I realize they're broke.
That's very KeenGamer. Hello, my broken pair of sunglasses because of my allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall. Pumpkin spice and itchy eyes.
Don't go into PR for fall.
Why
couldn't you just let me zone out for 1 minute?
Never.
Because it was too funny.
But that is the games. Now I'm like tempted to just be like, all right, Jessica, just edit that out. But I'm like, damn, you're right there. But that is the games that we're playing right now. So let's jump in to the news. So we've definitely talked about this rumor before, but it's officially confirmed. EA has an Iron Man single player game in the works. It has yet to be titled, but it is from the same people who've made Star Wars Squadrons, Motive, and will also be doing the upcoming Dead Space remake. Quote, we are thrilled to collaborate with the talented team at Motive Studios to bring their original visions of one of Marvel's most important, powerful, and beloved characters. Their experience delivering both established entertainment worlds and thrilling gameplay, combined with the authentic passion for the Iron Icon. Damn, there's a lot of good attributes in here. Good on them. Will fuel our quest to deliver a love letter to a legendary hero in the form of the ultimate Iron Man video game. Jessica, are you excited for us?
I am, yeah. I mean, seeing that it's a third-person action adventure thing, and I actually forgot when I first read the story that this was the same people who did Squadrons, and who are going to do Dead Space remake. And while Dead Space remake isn't out, it looks awesome. And from what I played of Squadrons, it was a great game. So this studio paired with this project is pretty good. Although the first thing I saw of this, I can't remember if you remember when I was on the podcast when they announced the Wolverine game. Wolverine's like not my. I don't really like him too much in the X-Men. And then Spider-Man, I'm not really a big fan of. I was like, why do they keep making Marvel games of the characters I'm not really all that invested in?
Because they're like, we need to make Mark happy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But yet again, I love all Marvel, so it's like, whatever.
I do like Iron Man a lot more than I used to, actually. And this game sounds awesome. So I am excited for it, more so than the Wolverine one. Although I don't know, the Wolverine one sounds like it's going to be awesome because it's from Insomniac. My other thought with this is that EA, I saw a great tweet. It was like, they already had a great Iron Man game, and it was Anthem. And to be fair to Anthem, it had incredible like movement when you were flying through the air. So if they do collaborate, they've at least got that, that technology there for like a third person. Because with all its flaws, Anthem was a really good third person game when you were flying through the air and traveling. So yeah, I actually am happy about this one.
No, what about yourself?
Well, I'm not a huge Marvel guy, but Squadrons, like Jess was saying, I think this is a good collaboration, especially considering it's going to be Iron Man. Like you think of him flying through the sky, so so it kind of seems like something that could come together really nicely. I also saw on there there's something with Black Panther in the works, and that's a popular franchise right there.
That's right.
So
yeah.
Not only the Amy Hennig, but there's they haven't confirmed it, but EA is reportedly developing a Black Panther open world game.
Oh, the open world. All right, so yeah, that's exciting as well. In terms of the Iron Man game, if it's single player, that makes me wonder like what exactly you're doing. Like they don't call it a shooter, but like when I think of Iron Man, I think of him using weapons more than anything. So I'm curious to see what direction that goes in.
I mean, yeah, he has the weapons. I mean, his fists are iron.
Right.
Well, technically, it's not even iron, but
Yeah.
Hey, what a lie. Even his name's a lie.
Well, I love the joke in Iron Man. When he reads the paper at the end of the movie and they call him Iron Man. And just to paraphrase, he's like, does this even make sense? The suit's not even made out of iron.
That's their way of going, just forget about it.
Well, it's like, okay, we acknowledged it. Move on.
How are you feeling about this, Mark? Because like you say, you are a big Iron Man fan, so...
I am very big into Iron Man. I will say, like, granted, because I don't want to say a niche game, but PlayStation VR had an Iron Man game, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't played it, actually. Was it really good then?
Very good. Yeah, of course, you're, first person VR. You feel like you're actually flying, using all the weapons. because it's with the PlayStation Move controller. So you just got your hand blasters like pew, 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 when you're just shooting all these weapons, flying, getting from the targets. Awesome time. That right now is the greatest Iron Man game. So I feel like it actually doesn't actually have like a high bar to just gotta hurdle over. But EA, okay, I don't want to say EA, I'm confident in you, but it's more of like motive. I'm confident in you.
Yeah, they seem to have a good track record with this, and by the way, our obligatory Marvel's Avengers reference, Iron Man was one of my favorite players in that game. I actually think in third person he lends himself quite well to it with the traveling and the repulsors where you can stay stationary and you can be a ranged person or you can use them up close. So yes, a regular defending of that game, but I quite like the Iron Man gameplay in that, and you know, I assume this is going to be better, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
And you know what? It's funny that you mentioned Avengers because I'm like, damn, now I want to play it because of Iron Man. And then if you have the next gen one, I don't know how it is on Xbox, but for PlayStation 5, it is at least 90 gigabytes.
Oh, yeah, it's massive.
Yeah,
When I had
data
it, it was like
size.
100 and something gigabytes at
Oh,
least.
I don't mean the price. Like, yeah, and now it's like $90. No, you can probably get it for like at minimum 13. I mean
Yeah, and
30.
I believe it's on both subscription services as well, isn't it? Or did they get taken off
Exactly.
PlayStation? Yeah, that's it.
I think it's still on PlayStation because it just dropped last month.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was on the first rollout, and so I have an external storage, so you can store games like PlayStation 5 games, but you can't play unless you move it back to the internal storage. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's a big old, even transferring, not even downloading, just transferring. It takes a while. I did it for the Black Panther DLC, and to be fair to the Xbox, you don't need to have it on internal, but of course I wanted to take advantage of the fast loading of it.
Yeah.
So seeing, I was like, oh my god, it's taking forever.
And waiting, and it's like I gotta like restructure everything because I'm like, okay, so you guys have to go, maybe delete this game, and it's like only to play 10 minutes of Iron
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Mm.
Not so much. But speaking of EA, we got more EA news. Hence the speaking of EA. That was a segue. Not my strongest, but oh well.
But it was a segue, you're right.
It was a segue. I will get in my feedback like, well, it was a segue.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about EA Sports. It's in the news because a little better, 4 out of 10. So FIFA 23 will be collaborating with Ted Lasso, and the whole Richmond club is available to play. That's right. Ted Lasso. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on the characters. I'm a complete failure. Roy, Sam, and all your favorite friends. Now, I'm unfortunately on a panel with... I'm the only one who's seen Ted Lasso. Now, Noah, soccer. Jessica, football. Just establish that. Jessica, do you like this football game? FIFA?
I used to play FIFA about, oh my god, it was a real long time ago, like 10, 12 years ago. This is a really cool collaboration, I thought. Like taking something that is really popular right now and kind of beloved, from what I've heard anyway, and putting it into FIFA is a really cool idea. I actually am going to be playing this one this year for, guides work. So my first Ted Lasso experience is going to be playing as, what's their team?
Richmond?
Richmond, AFC Richmond in FIFA 23, the last officially called FIFA. It'll be like what EA something next time. But yeah, I think this is cool news. Definitely, especially if you're a Ted Lasso fan.
Noah, can you please watch Ted Lasso for me?
My free trial of Apple TV ran out. But I've heard such
Well,
good things about that show.
exactly. It's $5. That's it.
I feel like if Dan was on here, I'd be like, no, capitalist Mark, stop it. Don't give Apple any money.
Which is funny. It's like I'm the opposite of Karl Marx. Capitalist Mark. I'm like, hey, come on, just buy the product, give it to the man. And Dan will be like, this is why I should have been on the podcast.
Yeah, notice he's been absent 2 weeks, Mark. You've been too. Both times you talked about The Last of Us, I believe. It's too much for him.
Well, not anymore, Dan, so come back on.
Until I talk about it.
Hell yeah.
No, not now, but sorry.
Oh, damn it. But Noah, please, A, get a PlayStation, buy The Last of Us, buy a lot of other games that you'll really love. It's a great investment of money. Give it to the corporations. And 2, give it to another corporation. Watch Ted Lasso. Dan is really going to hate me this week.
I'll tell him to skip. I'll give him the timestamps.
It's like, Dan, don't watch this part. As I'm like waving, like, no.
Yeah.
But my family is we're all big Ted Lasso fans, especially my brother-in-law, Tyler. And I saw this on Twitter. Well, I saw like the teaser for this. Like they had Jason Sudeikis in like the mocap like studio with like all the dots and whatever equipment I don't know about. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be for FIFA, isn't this? And I'm like, and then I saw the trailer and he sent me the trailer and I texted back. I'm like, damn, I'm about to buy a full price FIFA game.
No way, really?
No, but it's like, maybe. I don't know. It's like, I don't even know how football works.
Yeah, Mark, do you have EA Play? Did I hear you say last week? Is that what it's called? The subscription service? I don't think it comes out. You do get a trial, so maybe you can just go into the trial and play as AFC Richmond.
I'll be so pissed if like this is the only like unlockable you have to earn.
Oh yeah, they knew.
Damn.
But yeah, try that before you put $70 on a FIFA game.
I know that wasn't a joke. You're saying that straight face. It's like, hey, maybe just try it before you buy a $70 FIFA game.
You don't need to be so capitalist all the time.
Come on, Jessica. Get him to the man.
What will you about your money?
What? Hey, it's their money. They gave me the money. I give it back. It's like charity, but for rich people.
Oh, God. Now you're sounding like a politician. It'll all work out. Give it to the rich people.
I would be a horrible politician. I'm just putting that out there so anyone who runs against me just use that and just be like, nope. Like that's like the like intervention. Like Mark, you shouldn't run for politics.
Like, look, you even said yourself.
That or like I actually make it far. But imagine like they use the clip of like I would be horrible for politics, and I'm like, youth.
Boom, in the White House.
That's right. Wait, I'm the president?
Yeah, you're going all the way. That's all you need in America, right? An idiot.
Whoa. You just got burned, America. Well, this is what
Mark,
I get.
I'm sorry. I meant America in general, not you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's look at my FIFA again.
No, let's talk about the Queen.
No.
But Jess, isn't this like the 19th day of mourning?
I don't know. I've been mourning by playing video games. It's hit me really hard.
Is that why we're in all black today?
Yes. Mm-hmm. You can't see it, but like
when
Over there.
Kratos killed my grandma with the date announcement, I only had 5 days, and reality's like, all right, get to work.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point. It was an overreaction. I agree. But anyway,
That
this
was
isn't
an overreaction.
yeah, this isn't the Keen royalty podcast.
Keen royalty.
Keen
Love
royalty.
that.
Yeah.
Keen royalty sounds like the top tier in our Patreon. It's like, you're a KeenGamer. The middle one is like, you're a freshwater lover. Next one is like, cut this out, Jessica.
Yeah, edit
You
this.
get all like the like unedited stuff.
Oh yeah, no, there has to be another one, audio issues only. You know, where you just get a super clip of us trying to sort out the audio issues.
You don't pay for or Patreon, you get audio issues.
Yeah.
And then the top one is just Keen royalty.
You don't get anything for it. It's just to show you have money.
I can't wait until our boss listens to this and he's like, what are you guys forming? Like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't,
Does it sound good? Yeah.
does it sound good? Do we get a little bit of that pie?
Right. Back to FIFA. Stop it. Let's go.
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Honestly, I thought one other person was going to watch Ted Lasso.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't want to take it out or anything because it is cool. It's a cool thing to do, especially
It
from
is
EA.
cool, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe, I don't mean a FIFA game, I can't believe people are excited by an EA move that they're universally like, yeah, let's go. And
Yeah.
and it's like the Homelander meme, like he's shocked, but he's like smiling as everyone's like clapping around him. I can't really
Yeah.
describe it without spoilers, but that's the best I can do. Like EA is just like, all right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, we were actually very pro. Two news stories, and they're both EA. I feel like EA is kind of going through a good. They're making a lot of good sounding games in development at the moment. Anyway, I'm trying to think if I've forgotten any horrible EA scandals as of late. But from my perspective, I think they've been doing okay.
Wait until next week's news cycle.
Yeah. Oh God. By the time I publish this podcast, something's gonna come out, isn't it?
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
That's our leak.
Ooh. We should have a podcast of like, wait a second, Jess. Were you trying to segue this into the main topic?
I actually wasn't.
Oh. Well, I am, because that's all the news that we have this week. As we talked about Patreon. Maybe that was the third news story or unofficial Patreon.
I'm not going to put it in the timestamps.
Fair enough. Because we are moving on to the main news story. So last week, Noah and I were a little flustered because just before we went on, the news about the GTA 6 leaks were happening. And I'm pretty sure we said this in the podcast, like, this looks legit. But Rockstar hasn't officially commented. Well, they did. All the leaks were real. It started this whole frenzy about graphics, leak culture. There's so much to talk about. First of all, Jessica, what was her reaction to the GTA 6 leaks?
Yeah, so I was on Twitter, basically, not when they were happening, but like an hour or two afterwards, and it was kind of unavoidable because they were just like embedding videos all over Twitter. And if you follow like any gaming, it was just right there. So I have seen some stuff basically just by scrolling, and I'm not gonna lie, I did look at a couple of them. But it was kind of like, oh shit, like over 90 videos of Grand Theft Auto 6, and yeah, we all call it leaks, like, you know, we just put them in the same umbrella, but it turned out to be a hack, which again I didn't know at the time. Person was asking for like ransom money from this, so like
And
a
I
huge.
think it was a 17-year-old from the UK.
Yes, allegedly, because he's been...
Allegedly. We have to. We don't want to get hacked.
Yeah. Yes, and he's been arrested, and also the FBI were investigating this because apparently the same person or group of people had hacked Uber as well, like really recently, and they were thought to have breached Microsoft, Samsung, and Nvidia in the past, if it's the same hacking group from back then. So, you know, just major corporations hacked by some 17-year-olds.
I'm not gonna lie, this made me want to watch Mr. Robot again.
I actually haven't seen it yet. I feel like I'm disappointing you again.
It's not that big of a disappointment. I mean, it's a great show, but I'm not like, Jess, you haven't seen 4 seasons of Rami Malek's Mr. Robot? It's like Ted Lasso. It's a worldwide phenomenon, which is a brilliant move by EA. And I should have probably said that instead of going on a Patreon fantasy description. But oh shit, what was it? Yeah, Mr. Robot, great show if you have the time. But yeah, this, like, there's leaks. Like, imagine like just a video or two or a couple photos. This was like a whole, like, this guy used like the premium plan, Dropbox. That's how much like file size this was. This episode is sponsored by Dropbox.
I told you to stop advertising things without getting money from them.
Fine. Edit that part out, Jeff. But yeah, this is like, I'm not gonna lie, this was actually like scary. And Brandon, like, we don't know the whole details, of course, but just from one person hacking Rockstar and Uber, like, I hope, I don't hope this, like, I hope it's just like their password is just password, and it was just so easy and not like this complicated like data thing.
Well, reportedly, I didn't put a link into the article I read it on, but apparently this was like a phishing scam, like, you know, those dodgy emails you get. Like, apparently an employee clicked on one of them and they got into the Slack, I believe, and, you know, sharing work videos because it's like work from home mostly, and even if you weren't working from home, they'd have it on it too. So I bet you Rockstar, they're just like gonna have crazy security measures for that stuff now.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, oh yeah, we're talking about it in Slack group, and all the people in the wait a second, I'm part of the KeenGamer Slack. Am I actually part of the KeenGamer Slack?
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nah, I think I'm good.
But yeah, I think you're right that the distinction, like, this is a hack. This is illegal. This wasn't from a source who worked on it or anything. This was stolen, and obviously, as we were talking about before the show with Noah, there's going to be consequences to this. This person, if this is the person that did it, is probably going to go to jail, because the person who did the, don't know if you guys remember, there was like a massive Half-Life 2 hack where they got the game like 4 days before it was supposed to be released or something, and apparently it didn't look all that great, and they ended up delaying it. But I think he was in jail or he was on probation for 4 years, so like in Germany anyway, so it was a pretty serious crime. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Who knows? So it's a lot. So a little complicated discussion. We'll be talking about all things the GTA hack itself, leak culture, hack culture, and especially with Noah. You definitely have had experience with Pokemon, Bethesda hacks before. So there's many different avenues we can go through. And I think the big thing that came, well, okay, a lot of things came out of it, including the videos. But I feel like the biggest thing I've seen on Twitter and from a lot of other developers of this message that graphics aren't finished first. That's the big thing. That's just a paraphrase. Because there's a video from IGN. Oh, shoot. I accidentally clicked out the video. Oh, well. But there was an article for them about how, well, a video, like, is there like a accidental good side effect from this leak? And Noah, just ramble on, because this is one of those stupid, like, video will play after the ad. And it's Wendy's, and it's making me hungry, and now I'm just hangry. Oh, that looks good.
Is it a Rick and Morty Wendy's ad, or is it?
Oh, I wish.
No, no. All right, so it yeah. So what game were you talking about? Which league were we talking
So,
about?
have you seen this stuff? I suppose actually, no, you're just on Twitter, which we can talk about at the end of the show. But somebody made a really stupid comment, and they were like, "Yeah, Grand Theft Auto does look crap because graphics are one of the first things finished in a
Oh,
video."
right.
Yeah. And then, like, the developers came out basically in support, like, kind of making fun of the guy and showing their early builds, including Control was there, Cult of the Lamb was there, a load of them. I believe was there a Halo there?
Yes,
Um,
and I have to tweet because I'm like, where did this even originate from?
mhm.
Basically, I was wondering, like, was this like a no name or was it like a Twitter account, like checkmark verified account? So it wasn't the latter. Just someone commented, quote, if you knew how game development goes, you know that visuals are one of the first things done. This game is 4 years into planning and development. What you see is almost exactly what you'll get. The next year is mission coding and debugging, all back end stuff. It does look like, but he didn't say but. I'm just trying to be nice. And this might be the sketchiest part. Twitter for Android. I knew there was something fishy with that one. We at KeenGamer, I think I can speak on everyone, do not believe that statement.
Yeah, I think you can speak for everyone there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can speak it. I don't want to see any opinion pieces like, no, that is 100% false. And
Yeah.
because we don't know the whole ins and outs of game development. Like, think about like developing Deathloop and how like so many elements go into that. Like, I have just a headache thinking about that.
Yeah. Trying to make sure all the timeline stuff measures up. Yeah.
All the timelines, and it's like this weapon and all that, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this it is a lot. So that is a nice thing. Like, there's so many studios, both AAA, big studios, indie developers are getting love as well. That either has had hacks, like Naughty Dog came out and basically said, like, "Oh, we've been there, trust us."
Yeah.
And that, and they're sharing, like as you mentioned, Jess, like all first footage of like it's amazing to see how games started
Hmm.
versus how they finish. And I feel like we don't get to see a lot of that. Sometimes in like some behind the scene looks, but nothing really, really rough.
I feel like you're right, and I feel like if there is one good thing that came out of this, like you said, it's that they're like not just indies but triple A's and like double A's are showing what it was like at the beginning. Like, did you see? It was really cool. It was the unpacking one. Like, unpacking is actually just a bunch of objects floating in 3D space, but the way the camera is, it looks like it's just one like picture. It's incredible, and it's kind of reminds me like not. It's kind of like magical trying to make a game, like trying to make this work, and you understand why developers are like, oh no, everything comes together in like the last like couple of weeks, maybe couple of months, because again the graphics aren't finished. That's just so stupid. Like, I feel like people who don't know a lot about games even know that you can't complete the graphics before other bits in a game. Like, what is the point of completing a graphic on some object that you don't even know you're going to have in the game yet, so yeah, it's been really cool to see all this stuff, and it's been the only good thing that came out of this ridiculous comment.
And yeah, definitely like maybe there's like one or two other like good things that come out of this hacked, but a lot of it is bad because
Yeah.
it's a hack.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a great educational lesson for all gamers. Like, hey, like when we talk to news stories like, hey, this game is getting delayed, like the Twitter account comes out with a picture of 2 paragraphs and it's like, uh-oh, where are you gonna move this game? And I'm like, that sucks, but I get it. Make it as polished as you want. That's the whole point. And that is why, like, it's crazy to see, like, the unfinished versus the finish. Like, the Insomniac, I think they officially released this. It was a blurred image of, like, not blurred, but, like, a very rough, like, Spider-Man standing over the skyline of New York City, of Manhattan, versus the finish, and just seeing all the details, and I'm like, how did you how'd you do that?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like looking at a video and going, "How did you do that?"
I feel like one of those kids that sees like a simple magic trick, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's the best comparison because they do have to do a bunch of random stuff, and I think the reason why they're not so transparent is because of this, like, GTA reaction coming in from her going, "It looks crap," even though this game hasn't even been officially like revealed. Any
Yeah,
gameplay, any proper trailers, just was a logo. Like it's called GTA 6.
like
That's
they
it.
said, we are making GTA 6.
Yeah, like that's not a finished game at all, and anything can change. How long has this been in development for? Like 9 years, 10 years? Like uh, it's ridiculous. But there is places that do this because I don't know. These guys aren't really. Do you play Dead Space, Mark?
No.
So the Dead Space remake devs have actually showed it off extremely early, and there's like this is like pre-alpha, pre-beta build. Like this is just us showing you off. We want to show you the sound, and they give those like polygonal corridors, like they were showing you, and it was really cool to see that. So there is some devs who are being a bit more transparent with this, but I feel like because GTA was so like mainstream, like you had people just coming in who all they play is GTA, like that's it. They're waiting for it, see this, and go, oh, it's crap. So.
Because I don't know the official stats, but GTA 5 is probably the most bought game in the world. At
Yeah.
least it has to be top 10.
Yeah, people are still buying it, like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Granted, because they released it on 3 different generations, but you know. Well, hey, Rockstar, you're going for a hard time. It's cool. Meanwhile, Dan would be like, no mercy, Rockstar. $40? Eat. But you know, when I was watching the videos from like it was all over Twitter, I didn't even have like a negative reaction of like oh, this looks terrible. It was more of like a fascination because it actually looked pretty damn good.
Yeah,
And when I'm
yeah,
talking about like the diner heist, which I mentioned last week, I'm like, oh wow, this is like really cool.
and
And
that No, go ahead, Mark.
like there's a difference. Like imagine if they showed like the diner heist is like here's the first official footage. Then I'm not gonna say encourage the hate, but I would be like, yeah, I get why people would be mad from this first official look. But this is the look of like Rockstar didn't want you to see this. That's like if you're writing a paper in class and the teacher just takes your paper and be like, oh, F. And it's like, whoa, 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 I didn't even finish and edit it. And I feel like that's like, I hope like developers become more transparent because even though gaming culture, or I shouldn't say gaming culture, like there's always toxicity in like fandom, but hopefully like this is more of like a lesson learned
Yeah,
from
and
that.
I totally agree with what Neil Druckmann came out when what was his quote was like, "This is gonna be a footnote in your Wikipedia page."
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
Nobody is going to care about this when it comes out. The same people complaining about the graphics are gonna buy this day one, you know?
Yeah. They're gonna buy it day one. It's kind of like again, going back to like pushing the release. Like, hey, if your game is great, who cares about like we were supposed to play it in May and now we're playing it in November? Or even like a year later. If your game's great, that's all that matters.
Did you see any of the footage of the GTA 6 Noah or any of the like the devs coming out with the videos?
So I did. Yeah, I'm not really a GTA guy, so I probably don't know as much as you guys do. But yeah, I like it at this point. Like it, graphics, it like it. Even if you have them, like like while you're developing, you might not be playing at full resolution, or you might have some other settings turned down just so it's processing well while you're making stuff, so you're not crashing while you're developing. So yeah, when this the Bethesda showcase, the Bethesda Xbox showcase happened, the Starfield footage had like a lot of people were saying, like including me, like I said, the visual quality isn't quite what I was expecting, and I said that based on knowing that we're about 6 months away from the original release date. So
Yeah.
like if it was a year, I probably wouldn't have said anything. But there was a bit more going on than just how things looked. There was also like frame rate drops, like some performance things looked a bit off. So I commented briefly about that, but like I did that understanding, like, oh, all right, we're 6 months out. This is probably why the game was delayed. So yeah, so you can't go into something prior to release with the assumption that like we're seeing a finished product, especially in regard to graphics. But
Exactly.
yeah,
and you bring up the point. Oh, sorry, Noah.
Oh, okay. And especially in leaks, like, because if it's a leak, like that's not coming from the developer. It's like with Bethesda, it was coming from them. So I know that they've turned it up for the cinematic. Like they are at full resolution here, and they're showing the best of what they have at this point. If it's a huge promotional thing, but in a leak, like long before a game's gonna come out, of course it's not gonna look as good as it will.
Honestly, that's what I was gonna mention. Like Bethesda, like official, like that's fair as a comment, and you're not harsh nor DMing Bethesda with like death threats.
No,
So good job, Noah. Yeah, you're definitely not. Like you can criticize, just don't be toxic.
Yeah.
Like you can criticize like Bethesda officially unveiling Starfield footage. Rockstar, they didn't be like, "Hey Jeff, for the Game Awards, we're going to show you this." And Jeff's like, "Okay, whatever. I just want the clout." That sounded too harsh, Jeff. I love you. Ish.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, I like you. I'm not ready to love you.
Oh.
Well, I that's still positive.
I think you're totally right. No, with the Starfield stuff, because and do you remember what happened? No. Do you remember what happened with Halo Infinite as well? Like they're showing you, what is it called, like a vertical slice, like a demo. Like here is what our vision for what we want the whole game to sort of look like. And if that's a little off, that can be like, oh well, what's happening there? Especially because of that Halo one, it was only a couple of months before it was coming out, and it got delayed because of it. And also the Prince of Persia remake, which who knows where the hell that is now? It's supposed to be out January. Haven't even announced when it's coming out. Yeah. I feel like a fan reaction like that can actually not like you say, Mark, not toxicity or anything, but just, ooh, this isn't looking great. I don't know if I'm going to spend my money on this. So the devs are like, not the devs, sorry, the publishers would be like, okay, we need to spend more time on this and get it to where we need it to be. So I think it's right, like even with the Starfield stuff and you were talking about, even though it's like potentially like a year away from when they unveiled that, and with Bethesda's history with like bugs and performance issues, it's a totally different thing than, like you said, like taking it from Rockstar before they've even put a cinematic trailer together,
Exactly. And I just had a really good point. You would have been really blown away, but I just forgot it. But actually, like, that's the opposite. This is what I was thinking. It's actually not really a good point. It's just okay. I think, what is it? Sonic Frontiers, the new Sonic that's coming out. Like, there's a lot of reaction during the Summer Game Fest weekend from people who actually played it hands-on. And it was like, they were criticizing, and there's a couple people saying, like, this game deserves to be pushed back to fix some things. And Sega's like, no. Holidays. And it's like, no, that's good. Like, there's like publishers is like, oh, players are really not fond of this. First of like, remember the Spider-Man puddles controversy?
Yeah.
I think Insomniac can like mute their notifications and sleep well at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that's the GTA angle. And I'm more curious about like, of course, this is definitely the biggest leak in video game history.
I'd agree, yeah. I'd say there has been some other big ones, but yeah, GTA 6.
I
90
feel
plus
like
videos.
it's like 90 plus, and it's like
Yeah.
for a studio like Rockstar. And this is a scary thing. I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I mean, like, should the hacker, how can I phrase this? Like, with all like technology today, would that make it easier or would that make it harder?
True.
I don't know. We're not the
Yeah.
King Tech podcast yet. That is a Patreon tier. You'll get free merch. But I wonder, like, with Rockstar, will this like somehow push back development or no?
Yeah, I'm curious too, because they came out saying no, but that might be just to save face. But also, like, obviously we're not involved in game development. Would it be pushing it back because they have to take like extra security measures and everything, or taking feedback from people doing this? Like, what do leaks actually push back?
I don't know. The only conspiracy theory I have is Rockstar made a fake person, got the FBI involved, made an excuse, leaked out these videos, and said, like, oh my gosh, this is why we have to push it back and not show you anything for 6 years. And people be like, Rockstar, we understand. We're here for you.
God, yeah.
Think about it. It's all there. But Noah, I want to talk to you because, of course, big Bethesda guy, big Pokemon guy, notorious for leaks. What is like the most notable moments? Because I'm not as familiar as you are.
The most notable leaks.
Yeah, from them. You can just rattle off.
All right, so I've talked about the Bethesda, like the Starfield leaker who reported, I believe, Game Rant a while back. So I'm not sure if there's been complications with him, but based on the information that the article gives about him, like he went by some alias. It was I don't quite remember what it was, but it also gave like his position at Bethesda. He was a character artist, and the company that he left Bethesda for. So that with that information, the Bethesda legal team, like, they can figure out who this person was. So yeah, and this leak wasn't egregious, but he said more than I could envision at Bethesda wanting him to say. So yeah, like it was a leak. So would there be legal complications? I guess probably. Like, yeah, there would have been some sort of clause in his contract, like even when you're not employed by Bethesda, you're not to do XYZ, something like that. So yeah, I don't think there's been any updates, but I'm very curious about, like, did this person give this information to Game Rant, like, understanding that this information about him would be in there? Because that would be like a pretty dumb move. if you know that like your position title at Bethesda would be in there, and that it would say what company you work for now, like that'd be a pretty stupid move, because like they will find out who you are if they have that information about you. So yeah, so it's like
is this the same person who was talking on the forums? Because I remember saying that about like space travel.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but he did mention space travel in this leak, so it could have been. So Yeah, and what yeah, he talked about it saying like the space travel just isn't fun to me. So a lot of people have, including me, have speculated that might be part of the reason for the delay as well.
Yeah.
That maybe they're just rethinking this mechanic because that nobody except for the high up developers like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
from my understanding of it, do you remember when Fallout 4 was leaked? Because that was, to me, from my memory, that was the biggest one Bethesda's have, because it was Kotaku, and that's what got them blacklisted from having any review copies of Bethesda games. And it was a lot of story and character stuff of Fallout 4. Do you remember that one?
So I would have been in high school when that happened, so I wouldn't have really been in the industry yet. But yeah, I vaguely remember that, and then Kotaku's kind. I don't want to blacklist Kotaku, but they do among journalism companies, they do kind of have this reputation of doing things like that. That they're kind of they're like the hot takes or inside scoop company.
Yeah. This was Jason Schreier before he went to Bloomberg. I remember this because he
Yeah.
was constantly tweeting about it. He got the documents. I cannot remember where, but then he put like a whole story and character spoilers. I don't know if any other game has had any massive leaks like that. Of Bethesda, anyway.
Uh, yeah, that probably would have been the biggest thing, because if he's giving those kind of details, but like that, yeah, that'd be probably a pretty bigger than this new Bethesda leak.
Mm.
I haven't talked about Pokemon yet, so
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So the major two Pokemon leakers are this guy Riddler Coup, who's been around for a while since he leaked a lot of the Sword and Shield information, which at the time a lot of people thought was fake, but then the games came out and he was proven to be the real deal. So him I'm more okay with than other leakers, because he usually at least makes it a game. He calls himself Riddler Coup because he kind of plays this game where he's got like he has information and he presents you like a riddle. A lot of times there'll be an image or if he'll give you a sentence, say like for the region name Paldea in the new games, I think he tweeted something like PD and then A and said like fill in the rest. Like just to kind of give you something to go on, and people ended up with the right answer pretty quick because Paldea means something in Spanish. I think it's some combination of friendship and something else. So people were able to get it pretty quick based on what he gave them. But the images are the fun ones. Like he'll give you like an image of there was like a dog with its head through a piece of bread, I think, for Fido. Like
Oh,
yeah,
don't get me hungry again.
right. So like if there's a game to it, I'm more okay with that than I am with people just like dropping images. And there's also this other leaker who started a bit more recently who calls himself Kaka. So he kind of reports to the like leak companies, like he reports to Centro Leaks. Like it's smart. He's like he's putting a third party in between himself and the audience. So yeah, he leaks. It's similar to Riddler Coup, except he often just is a bit more specific, and images have come from him. It's my understanding, but he usually blurs them at least. But still, like it messes up marketing. Like it, especially like Pokemon marketing is exciting. Like that video of Grafai, like that was fun. Like imagine like if someone had leaked images from the first Scarlet and Violet reveal trailer, like that would have ruined it. Would have been nearly as exciting as it was.
Yeah.
And the
But
thing is, like,
you go, Mark.
oh, Jess, what we're gonna say?
No, I was just gonna ask Noah. Has leaking been like a recent thing within the Pokemon community? Because I've come back to Pokemon basically with the Switch, and I don't remember anything from like those previous generations on DS and everything having a lot of leaks. Did they?
So I'm I'm only aware of these two. It's my understanding that it was before Sword and Shield that this kind of started up, and when the games came out, that's when a lot of these guys were solidified as okay. So people have like early copies of these Pokemon games. Yeah, so with that information, you can kind of speculate on who they might be. Like my guess for Riddler Coup is he's someone that has like a relative that's on the QA team or something, because he had a feud with someone a while back, and they vaguely said to him like some comment about like your uncle. So that tells me like okay, so he has. So they know who this guy is, and like that his source is like he has someone inside that isn't himself. They like maybe a relative, and that's how he's got his hands on a copy of the game. But yeah, like imagine like you work QA, but you just have like your nephew do the work for you. Like that might be what we have
God.
here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like I imagine that like they're on lockdown with these guys out, and they're like probably investigating internally, like where did this come from? Because these guys clearly have copies of the game, so yeah,
It's strange that I know they're not
cool.
owned by Nintendo, but like it's sort of like historic Nintendo property, but because you don't get a lot of leaks from there, tend to be very secretive company. But I guess it's because they aren't officially part of Nintendo that this sort of stuff can happen then.
Is Game Freak not officially owned by Nintendo?
No.
Oh,
Or their parent company isn't officially owned. Yeah, it's just like a really long-standing agreement with them. Contract, I guess.
that's interesting. Yeah, it's that trifecta of Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company are all kind of like the Pokemon develop the Pokemon people, Pokemon companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings like of course GTA 6 was a full-on hack.
Mm-hmm.
But yet again, like that's the complicated nature of like leaks and insiders and scoops. Like where is the line? Because something like someone like Jason Schreider, like every time he tweets and he like gets a little scoop, I'll eat it up and be like, oh yeah, thanks, Jason. But anyone else, and I don't like there's verified scoopers, and then there's like not even like the forum scoopers. There's like it's weird, quote unquote fake scoopers. And what I mean by that is like basically like Twitter accounts with like no, I don't mean like verification of like Twitter, the check mark. I mean like verification of like who are your sources? Like who are you?
You're totally right, Mark. And it's like because this has become so popular, and I'm sure we'll touch on it, but that YouTuber who just outed himself as a leaker, like he's just someone who got I can't remember the official, it's like a press release before that Ubisoft event, and he just leaked all. And because a lot of people got that, you can't really trace it back to him who did that, but he outed himself because he posted on the wrong Twitter account. It's so easy, basically, to if you get any just like right before that. And I remember that I was like, oh man, this spoiled right before the event. And I know that these are just like it's PR. PR got spoiled basically. But would you rather find out about it in like a cool trailer or reveal, or do you want to find out about it just scrolling through Twitter? And that's sort of what you're right. Like these people are doing it, and there is also like fake leakers who just guess. Sometimes they get right, and sometimes they're wrong. Because he even said he was he was just saying that the Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid remakes were happening because he heard someone else say it. Like there was absolutely he didn't get a press release for any of that. He lied about that basically.
And it's the whole thing of like they won't reveal sources, but it's like Jason Schreier, like, yeah, I feel like he has legit sources, but it's like, yeah, I heard it from like a cousin, his boyfriend, and then his roommate, whose father's busmate, and it's like, wait, that's your source?
There's a difference between like actual reporting and saying your source is like somebody from the game. Like that's what those type of reporters do, like Jeff Grubb and Jason Schreier. Like we got insider information from here, And because they have been right previously, you sort of gain a little bit more trust. But as we saw with like the Zelda Nintendo Direct thing, they're not always right. Where's the Switch Pro, Jason? You know, like plans of companies can change. And I guess if we're getting into the main topic of this about leaks, I'm like, it's not that I'm sad that they're spoiling reveals for me. It's just that, like, why are you personally doing this? You know, with reporters, you understand because they're trying to get, you know, content for their websites. But random people on Twitter just revealing it, like, what's he called? Dan Allen, Noah? Did it? He said for the
Dan
Dan Allen.
Allen was the
for the
guy.
clout
Just
and for the
just
buzz.
clout. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
to
for
say you did it.
and trying to like make a name for yourself.
Yeah, even though he already had 200 subscribers. Like, yeah. It's strange. It's strange that it's been like on the rise recently. And I actually forgot to look up his name, but there was someone I remember he was on Nintendo voice chat, the IGN Nintendo podcast. He pretended to be a leaker and got, I think, a few things right. And then he outed himself going, look how easy it is to look like you have insider information. He's like, I had no idea. I just guessed what was going to be on this direct and it was there. And yeah, he got a couple of things wrong, but people didn't care because they quoted the things he got right. And they're like, oh, from reliable leaker, this person. And it turned out he was just doing it to go, look how easy it is. And that was just the moment where I'm like, yeah, these people are just, could be random people on Twitter guessing.
Like sometimes, like I think the big thing, like the leaks and all that, is like when a presentation comes up, direct, whatever you want to call it, E3. There's all these leaks, like, and I'm trying to think of the game, the cute little fox that's like Zelda.
Tunic.
Like you famously guessed Tunic, and of course, Jessica, you have sources from Nintendo, right?
Famously. Yeah.
Yeah, famously. No, what I'm assuming is you probably made what we call an education guess. Educational
Yes.
guess? I wasn't good at school.
Educated guess. Yeah.
Yeah, just that. Like, I can say, yeah, we're getting Breath of the Wild 2 news, and it comes up. Like, unless you're like, hey, this is like the full description of the trailer, Tears of the Kingdom, all that, like, which I don't think is good, but at least you're right.
Yeah, at least you've shown that you a source of information.
You can't just be like, yeah, so like we're getting Breath of the Wild 2 news. That's gonna be the one last thing. That doesn't make you a leaker. And I feel like that has been definitely like on the rise big time. And it always exists in forums. And I think something that I want to touch on, this is always apparent in movies.
Yep.
Big leakers in the movies. And I feel like it's a lot worse. Because if you leak something from the movie, so let's use Endgame for example. So thank God there was like this plugin, like any Avengers Endgame, you can just block from your Twitter feed. It was like some cool extension that some person made. So thank you for that. Because someone had screen grabs, like just shoddy, like got it from the theater like a week or two before of like the final battle.
God.
So imagine that. That's one thing. And then it's like, there's this site, and I want to call out this, well, and not even site, like this account. Like, it's like MCU The Directs.
Is this the one that just has lies?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, what? And then I see something and I'm like, oh God, Jessica Jones. Oh no, wait, it's this account. They just lie. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, they just lie. It's mind-boggling. And you're like, well, Mark, what do you mean? You know how everyone was excited for D23? Oh my God, we're going to get all these announcements and all that. This account was like, we're getting this announced. We're getting that announced. We're getting this cast member announced and all that. Nothing came true. Okay, maybe I should legally say maybe like one or two things. But for that one thing that that account got right, everything else is wrong. And somehow this account has 1 million followers.
I know, Mark. That's what I wanted to say. Like every time I see one of these fake tweets, I see it's got like 20,000 likes, and I'm like, it's not real.
No, people are just like, it's crazy.
And they put confirmed in it and everything, like confirmed. This
that
person
bugs
will be
me.
in this. Yeah.
Like confirmed. It's like, who confirmed that? You know when it's confirmed? When Marvel or Disney or the official studio, publisher, developer comes out and says, yes, that is confirmed. Not you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have them blocked now, so I don't get that anymore. So I'm sorry if anybody scrolled through and saw them.
It's now I just want to find like these tweets just to see like yeah.
I think you're right though about modern movies as well, because I feel like it's been around in movies a lot longer, but with the rise of Marvel and like the need for people to get spoilers, like there was a whole description of is it Far From Home, the last one, or No Way Home, sorry. Full description of that plot that turned out to be true that somebody posted on Reddit. I think it was the same with Eternals. I'm sure there's been more, but it's just out there. If like you're on that Reddit, or it can get spoiled even if people don't hashtag it on Twitter. You just scroll and you're like, oh, there's a spoiler. I feel like with Marvel in particular, it's become huge. People like have their own YouTube channels and Twitter accounts based around it.
Even though this is not even the discussion, the Emergency Awesome channel on YouTube is ridiculous. It'll be like, oh my god, Avengers cameo confirmed, and it's like what? And it'll just have a video, and you watch it, and it's not even true.
Oh god, I thankfully haven't came across them.
Oh, and they have like a million like subscribers. They have like it's a lot, and there's just a couple other things from like movies like this. Just some back in my day stories, if you would. Noah, back in my day, I want you to picture this. I think this is 2013.
Nick Foles.
I forget
Nick Foles' first year.
That's right.
That was quick.
Yeah. What a great year, 2013. Nick Foles' first year.
Well, he wasn't. It was the first year that he played starting quarterback.
That's what the audience did. They're big fly Eagles fly, Noah. You don't have to dumb it down for them. Maybe just me. But anyway, so 2013, The Dark Knight Rises ended the Noah trilogy. We have Zack Snyder's Man of Steel coming up, and I forget the guy's name. He's one of the quote unquote legendary scoopers. It was like El Mabie, I don't know, like Heroic Hollywood, I don't know. He was like, guys, Christopher Nolan is gonna head the DC universe, and Christian Bale is returning. And my gosh, he doubled, he tripled, he quadrupled, he hexagoned down. So you'll never believe who was cast as Batman. Not Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, well, I got a new scoop that it's going to be filmed in Detroit. And I'm like, what? Yeah, well, that came to be true. It's like, that whole thing you staked your reputation on? Really? And then there's like other stuff like, okay, this is more recent. Spoilers for the Eternals movie.
Cover your ears, Noah.
Yeah, just set your AirPods to noise cancellation. So Harry Styles has a cameo at the end. Do you know where I'm going with this, Jess?
I don't know, but I sure got spoiled for it.
Guess who put out that article?
Oh, that's right. Was it Deadline?
Variety themselves.
Variety, yeah.
Variety, a major publication, put out this big spoiler that was not in the like press release or the cast list or nothing. They saw the movie at the premiere. Immediately after, they said, confirm Harry Styles is in the Internals.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like Variety has had a lot of instances like that. Noah, I don't know if you're active on Twitter at the time, but they spoiled a big chunk of The Last Jedi.
Oh, no, at the time it wouldn't have been.
And
I really
keep
didn't
in
like
mind,
that movie anyway.
save it for the hot takes episode. I mean, is it a hot take? I don't know. We won't go down that rabbit hole. This is I know we're talking about video game leaks, but oof, back in my day, guys. You guys are experiencing now. I've been living it my whole life with just leaks and scoopers galore. Variety put out, and like keep in mind, like I think you're privy to this, Noah. Like, remember when Force Awakens came out and they showed very little, and that was their whole kind of mantra. Like, we're getting people hype. We're gonna like not show a lot, very little, lock down the reviews. Variety's like, yeah. So in the middle of the movie, all this, and it's like, how are you not like what's the word? Disembarred, blacklisted? Yeah, blacklisted.
Yeah.
From
Because
like
of Variety, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yet again, and then just like one last thing. Do you guys know the YouTuber John Campia?
I only became aware of him because of the Spider-Man stuff.
And here's the thing. I was, and you know what? If I watch a video too, I'll probably still enjoy it. I was a huge fan of John Campia. AMC Movie Talk, Collider Movie Talk. Big part of why I'm so passionate about movies and stuff. So he leaks these 2 photos, maybe a third. I think it was just a 2 of Spider-Man No Way Home, which again, very secretive, like no spoilers at all. And from Sony doing that says a lot because they like to spoil the hell out of stuff. It's like that. Sony's like, we'll leak our own content. You don't have to worry about anything. And the scoopers are like, damn it. That's how smart they are. Not really, but it was a picture, 2 pictures. One with Matt Murdock, Happy Aunt May, Peter talking around the table, and of course, the 3 Spider-Man. Oh, the spoilers for No Way Home. I gave you warning for the Eternals, but I'm like, nah. It came out twice in theaters. You're cool. So it was the 3 Spider-Man, all in suits but unmasked.
Yep.
And this guy, like John Campia, I don't know the full story. Like someone sent it to him, and I don't know, like it was some insider. I don't know.
Wasn't there a watermark on it?
I was gonna mention he put his own watermark, not like, hey, it came from like Disney or Marvel or whatever. He put his own The John Campia Show watermark on it. And he was defending it like I bet they're fake. Spoilers, they were not fake. They were like exact images. And I shit you not. This was his defense. Guys, look at Tobey Maguire's stick. And I'm like, you're really going with this defense? This is my.
You know what's so funny about this? That this actually united. I remember this. It like united like all the Lakers on Twitter. I never know. Oh no, but we wouldn't do that. We're not showing you pictures of this.
We're not showing you pictures of this. Like MCU Direct was probably like official, like a note stain of like this guy must be stopped. Even though they
like,
have,
yeah,
like,
this
20
is
articles. Hey, we'll just say this is confirmed. We won't show you pictures of it. We won't talk about Maguire's. Yikes. And one thing from him, because of Star Wars stuff, which I still have to watch, is it Andor? Noah, new show that came out.
Yep.
So the social media embargo / review did not get lifted. For those who don't know, any embargo in place, you can't talk about it. So let's say I see a Black Adam. I see Black Adam. I can't talk about it, but they unveiled the social media embargo. I can tweet about it. Not too detailed, just a tweet, maybe even two. Just very vague stuff. And then when the official embargo comes out, I can share my review. This is all before the movie. He's not on the Disney. He didn't get press screenings of the first 3 or 4 episodes of Andor. Either he went to a friend's house and saw it, or a friend sent it to him. I don't know the whole story. Sorry, Mr. Campia. And he's tweeting like he's breaking social media embargo, and he's doubling down like, yeah, I got it from a friend. And it's like, that makes it worse. You do know why it makes it worse, right? And just like some of these, going back to the general video game thing, I feel like it's a little less worse compared to the movies. And this is why, because
I feel like it's kind of getting there, but yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, yeah, trust me, it will definitely get FBI isn't going to Disney and being like, hey, we gotta investigate a John Campia and talk about Tobey Maguire's dick. Again, I shit you not. Look up that video. Like, people will talk about like, I don't mean like regarding presentations and directs. I mean like when they talk about the game, like, hey, this mechanic or this will be set in this, or it will have this element. Isn't as bad as spoiler stuff. And granted, that might work against you, like God of War 2018, The Blaze of Chaos. That is a gameplay spoiler, but that's also a story spoiler, you know? But you are right, Jess, when stuff gets revealed last minute or very shortly before the actual reveal. And sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe PlayStation unveils The Last of Us Part 1 trailer and game page the morning of the Jeff 3 Summer Game Fest. But we're not getting information about, like, the story stuff.
Yeah, like this wasn't. Do you remember Last of Us Part 2? Just got totally story spoilered out there. Like that's one of the bigger ones.
Oh, that's one of the bigger ones. I had a. You know how hard it was to stay off the internet, Jess?
I was lucky that I wasn't really active on Twitter at the time.
Like I knew like the big spoiler that happened in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I do.
But I always assumed that.
Same, yeah.
But I didn't get spoiled on anything else.
Good, yeah, I didn't get spoiled. Yeah. When I heard that there were spoilers and people were annoyed, I was like, oh, so that thing I thought was going to happen happened. But that's the
and like all these screen grabs, it's like, nope, bye.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what I would say about all of this is that I know it's not like the sort of leak where you get, this is what it's going to be, and this is what's going to be in the trailer. I know it's not like, it's not shattering these companies, you know, like Ubisoft's not going to really suffer for this Mirage stuff coming out beforehand. The only thing personally is it's so annoying. And I know we're getting annoyed over like the way the PR is delivered to us, but like, come on, it's like ours before. Like, and clearly they are just doing it for clout and buzz, like that guy said. Why else would you do it?
And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know about like the Dan Allen stuff until like just moments ago, like last night when Noah mentioned it. So I'm thankful I don't know anything, or my Twitter doesn't know that guy. Good. But we talked about Noah and I, the rumors of what they might present. I'm excited for that. And you know what? Because of these rumors, like I did set my expectations like right here. I don't know why I'm going like right here because it's like, wait a second, where's the high? I had like mid expectations, like, hey, I'm excited, but let's keep it in check. Some fans, and it's just not against them. I would get hyped too. Some people were really upset about that Assassin's Creed 1 didn't get remade.
Yeah. Again, this is and again with the Jeff Grubb and Nintendo Direct things, it could happen possibly. Things change all the time. This is the problem with like being a leaker and being wrong because things change, or I don't know, you're not getting it right. People just get so annoyed when something's not there, and you're like, they never said it was going to be there. You're getting annoyed over a rumor. The same if you say, Mark, about like Comic-Con stuff. Like if it was never going to happen in the first place, you can't really get angry with it, but people sure do try.
Yeah, like when we talked about Jeff 3, we were disappointed with it, but it wasn't because of our expectations. Like I did say, like, yeah, I did want that God of War Ragnarok date released. Spoilers, I didn't want it so soon because that killed my grandma. R.I.P. Jija. But Kratos did. It's confirmed. That's not a scoop. That ain't a hack. That is on the tombstone. That's coming in like October. November 8th or 9th, I'll be ready to avenge Jija.
The official tagline.
Oh yeah, that's my God of War. But like we talked about, like we were a little disappointed just on what we were given, not on what we were expecting. I'll be very mad if someone was like, well, you actually were annoyed that you didn't get as much as you were hoping for. I'm like, shut up.
I feel like it's a generalization. Like this is the replacement for E3. E3 is known for reveals, trailers, announcements, when you're like
that, and then the Game Awards as well.
Yeah.
Now, and Noah, this is what I want to ask about you. So you are pretty up to date on Pokemon leaks, I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
And I'm not going to assume like you seek them out, and if you do, I don't care. It's more of is it fair to say Pokemon isn't a very story-driven game?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair to say.
When you read these leaks, and I'm not talking about like, oh, I was kind of hoping for that. Do you often get disappointed of like, man, I can't believe this got spoiled for me? Or you're more of like,
Well, most of the time, it's like, nah. There have been a few times that I've been disappointed, but really I keep up with it because I cover Pokemon. I can't really be out of the loop. So, yeah. So, off the top of my head, the thing recently that disappointed me was they revealed who the champion is going to be. But yeah,
that sounds like a big spoiler.
Yeah, like it. I mean, in the more recent Pokemon games, usually you find out who it is early on. That I liked in the good old days when you walked through the Elite Four not knowing who was in the last room for you. You had to like guess based on who you've interacted with throughout the game. That's what I like. So, I'm kind of bummed that I well, supposedly there like multiple people have the rank of champion this time around, so we're not quite sure how it works. But yeah, I am kind of disappointed that I got this spoiler that I at least know one of the people that it might be.
And that's something that's not revealed officially by the Pokemon accounts, right?
No, that
Okay.
I don't. At least I don't believe they confirmed that this character would be the
Like
champion.
when they have were we trying to figure out what the Pokemon Direct is called? Basically, when they had their own little like showcase,
Pokemon
like,
Presents.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Pokemon
PP, baby. Gotta love that. What is it? Like abbreviation? Yeah.
Right. That's what I was trying to think of last week when I was saying like they do these separate things for Pokemon now, so they would do it in the Nintendo Direct. Yeah, it's Pokemon Presents.
Exactly. So it's one of those leaks, like, because like Pokemon doesn't have a lot of story leaks. It's a lot of gameplay mechanic leaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what about Bethesda? Still the same thing? Because granted, the games you play with Bethesda, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, do they have story? Of course, but is it like a main linear story? I mean, technically yes, but I don't see any. I don't. Ruby's not officially canon in Fallout 4 yet.
No, but like like quest spoilers, like yeah, that's a bigger deal because that is a story.
And this is just random. I was thinking about our predictions episode, Noah, and I didn't really have any big predictions. So this was just like crazy shoot for the fences, home run kind of thing. I'm like, Fallout 5. And you're like, Fallout 5 is not going to happen. I'm like, if I do, I am a god. I was crazy. But if I like, that's crazy to think about. Like, if somehow like I got that right, Fallout 5 is right, I can just start a whole new scooper career and just be like, guys, I'm verified. I officially called my shot.
Yeah, you're like, actually, I had previous information and I knew it was going to be there. Yeah.
Listen, if people are so right about these scooper things, can you guys do me a big favor? Make a March Madness bracket. Get it all right. I want to win some money.
Yeah. Sorted.
But
one thing I wanted to say with you in regards to the story spoilers, I totally agree, because I play Genshin Impact quite a lot now, and what is really big is like data mining beta builds. So people get a beta so they can try out characters, but people data mine it and get audio voice files and everything. There's whole accounts dedicated to who is going to be the next character who you can like wish for, so who you can pull in this gacha system. It's actually really handy for knowing like if you should try and go for the character in the current banner or wait for the next one. Whereas the story spoilers are like barely anything and people try to stay away from them. And I need to keep up with the banner stuff because I write, I update the guide with it. I don't see any story spoilers at all. And it's totally fine. It doesn't ruin the game for me. Everyone just knows who the character's coming through. It's one of the rare examples where I'm like, yeah, this works. Like, they'll data mine it. You get the leaker who you obviously have some connection to the company, you know who's coming in the upcoming banner, and because it is a gacha system, you want to save your currency for who you're going to pull. That is like honestly the only example where I could be like, yeah, this actually works. This leaking, I like this leaking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what similar to what I like. Like, what leaks do I like?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing with story. And I feel like that's why like industry scoopers will never be like, I really hope, let me just preface that saying, you'll never say Jason Shires be like, confirm Kratos dies at the end of God of War Ragnarok. And it's like, he would never. And accounts similar to him of like that statue.
Mm-hmm.
We just have the unconfirmed like accounts or people who hacked or like an insider and just all that. Back in my day, where's my pipe so I can like smoke something? Remember that same guy I told about the Ben Affleck's Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan thing? That same guy leaked for me the ending of Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, see, like, why? I get that there's some people who want to know out there, but clearly not everyone does.
Like, it's like, no, you did that for the clicks and the clout. You didn't do it for...
Yeah.
It sounds super cheesy to say, but for the journalism.
It makes sense, because if there's absolutely no information about a game, and you're like, okay, here's what we think that, or what we've got from our sources is the general setting, and here's a gameplay mechanic,
Yeah,
maybe.
like
Yeah,
when a lot of
not
people
here's the
said
whole plot.
like Assassin's Creed 3 leaks reveal it's going to be set in colonial America during the American Revolution. That gets me hyped up. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is what happens to Desmond at the end, and show a full video that you got. 2013 was a terrible time for me. Actually, that was 2012, but that was still in the school year, so I'm gonna count that as 2013. Started my whole fake cigarette addiction, and I never stopped. You know what? You mentioned Genshin Impact, and I can't believe we didn't touch upon this, and I feel like we can all relate. I'm so happy for one reason. Okay, two reasons that Smash Bros. Ultimate is stop adding characters. I'm pretty sure they stopped. I am blanking on the character's name. Please, someone tell me right now for Smash Bros.
There's a lot of characters in it. Which character?
No, like the creator of the Smash Bros. Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh my god,
Z. It starts with Z.
Masahiro Sakurai. It's Sakurai, isn't it?
Sakurai.
Sakurai. Yeah, you're right, Noah.
Well, I guess it's a Japanese sounding Sakurai.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I mentioned him was like two reasons I'm happy they're not adding characters. One, he needs to rest. The guy is working on IVs while adding characters. And two, I was so annoyed at all the confirmed this character's added to Smash.
Yeah.
Master Chief.
Master Chief
and just all the accounts. And there's some obvious ones like Banjo-Kazooie. Like, I'm not gonna say obvious, but it's like a lot of people have been saying that. It happens. That doesn't make you a scooper. You just got right with your prediction. Feel like there should be a certification. If you get 20 things right in a span of a week, okay, you legit.
Yeah, you can get like a Laker tick on Twitter.
Yeah, also known as the black button. Yep. But just like some things of like, oh my gosh, like how people just chase clout, and it's like, what do you even get out of it? Like followers? Do you get money?
They don't even know who you are if you really want to hide yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Which I was meaning to say, I heard from sources that in God of War Ragnarok,
you would never. You'd be like, stop talking to me. Stop.
I don't even care if it's like a fake spoiler, like Kratos grows a full head of hair. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, he's gonna come out with like a full-on mullet, and I'll be like, I was right.
I guess I've made like I don't really like leaks from like a I want to be surprised reason, and I think not a problem in the industry, but I'm like, what's the point? Like we were talking about, like with the clout, like you're spoiling it for a lot of people. Do you like the Pokemon leaks, Noah, or any other type of leaks?
Some of them are fun. Like I really like the YouTuber A Drive who covers them.
Yeah.
He's really a guy I kind of look to as kind of like the YouTuber I kind of want to be like. Yeah, like he makes it fun. He's got good energy. So yeah.
No,
like
he should be like you, not the other way around.
Well, he's got to have his vocal cords adjusted.
Yeah, he wish he had that voice note.
Yes. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I guess I like the games. I don't like fake leaks, like clickbaiters. Like, yeah, I really don't like fake ones that people that just want attention. And I don't like it when it's problematic to developers. Like, it ruins marketing a lot of the time. And I guess I don't. Yeah, I guess it's kind of subjective. Like to me, it's very subjective. I guess if I had to choose between like leaks or no leaks at all, I'd probably pick no leaks at all. Like, yeah, kind of, yeah, like it. Yeah, if I was making that choice, I'd probably do without them. Certainly make journalism a lot easier. Yes. Yeah, so, yeah, there's that, and I mean it. Yeah, and it kind of like it's a less like it to me. It's a less it a less legitimate form of the work that I do. I'm a big speculator for those who don't know. So yeah, and I have I've built some trust based on it because I was right about my Stranger Things prediction. Was actually kind of disappointed I didn't spend more time on the prediction that was right in that video, because I got more things right that I didn't say in there. So I could have been like, man, I could have called the plot of the whole season in this video, and people would like rave about this YouTuber. But at the same time, like if I had done that, and they might have accused me of having an inside source, I'd have to deal with that. But, yeah, so yeah, I built that trust. So I'm so excited about like upcoming news, because we'll find out if I'm right about my Elder Scrolls 6 predictions too. So
I actually think you're really right, Noah, because recently, after the Tears of the Kingdom trailer dropped, one of my favorite things has been going on YouTube and seeing people's theories and breakdowns of the video, and like I wouldn't really be doing that if like the plot had been leaked and I knew what it was about. You know, it's really good for the YouTubers doing all that speculative stuff.
Right. Thanks, Jess. And yeah, and also like it adds something that the developers don't give you. Like they give you the clues and not the answer. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big I love the work that I do, but I like leakers they've got the drive, but they don't work for it. Like there's it's like just a matter of connections or your ability to fake something. So yeah, so I'd say like if I had to choose between all leaks or no leaks, I'd pick no leaks.
What about you, Mark? Do you like some leaks? Not at all.
In terms of video games, with movies, no. Hate leaks. Stop. Get some help. But with video games, if it's like, hey, it's gonna be set here, or here's some gameplay, descriptions, like mild stuff, and or like industry like scoopers who basically it's basically a leak. Like unless it comes from that, it is a leak because of like sources within that company. I'm fine, because it's not like, hey, what's the ending to this, or what's some big spoilers? I want them headlines. But what I went on a big soap opera? Nah, I am pretty dramatic. I was going to say soapbox, but you know what? A big old soap opera rant about like back in my day. I hate it. Now, granted, again, going way back to GTA 6, this isn't just elite. This is a full-on hack that is scary. And at least some good, like, unintentionally good things came out, like education for a lot more gamers. Graphics are not the first thing to get finished. You're crazy. You go develop a video game. They make the next first. They make the next Last of Us. And it's like,
well, there's another good thing that came from it.
Well, exactly. And like that, and was that the only good thing? Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's the only good thing. I was gonna say, like, I liked some of the leaks. It got me excited. It didn't ruin anything for GTA 6, because I know the mindset of like they're still making the game and it's still early. They haven't even announced anything yet. It just sucks that I got to see it in this
capacity. Exactly.
Or method, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing I'd
Right.
mention is I kind of like leaks when it's like when Jason Schreier was reporting on Rockstar improving as a company, because that's not just like taking insider information about a game. It's taking insider information about how a company is improving, hopefully. And he also reported on like the tumultuous next Dragon Age game about how it's been cancelled. It used to be like a live service game, and now they're doing single player focused. Like that stuff I like because you literally get no information about it at all, and it's not spoiling a thing about it. You know, it's just here's what happened with Dragon Age, because they're not going to tell you, so we'll tell you. Or here's how this company's improving. I'd love to see like more stuff coming that would improve companies. Even on the flip side, like it's not nice to talk about, but when companies are out for being horrible, like the developers on the Ori games, apparently they weren't great. So hopefully they can work on that, because now their image has been like shattered. Ubisoft stuff, Activision Blizzard, like, you know, when that stuff gets reported on, that's like not gameplay leaks, but culture leaks and company leaks.
Oh
That's
yeah,
yeah.
and like unless like the company leaks or like information, I don't mean about the game. I mean like their like social security. Maybe not
Yeah,
that, Jason
no,
Schreier.
yeah, no
Exclusive
hacking.
scoop. SSN numbers. No, but
Uh,
like I feel like they are necessary because the contents of those articles and exposés are horrible. They're
mhm.
very disturbing. Like, of course, the Activision one. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot. And crunching is a big
Yes.
issue we talked about, and trying to form unions. But because of those articles, they promote change. A lot more companies have I shouldn't say unfortunately a lot. Like there is like a push to have less crunch, anti-crunch. Unions are starting to get developed because of those articles, because it's out in the open.
Yeah, exactly.
We ended on such a nice note.
Change.
Change. I was about to say like
That's not a nice note.
change. What ended on a C note. I don't know music, but that was the episode of KeenGamer podcast. We had a great talks, even though I was on my soap opera box. Jessica, the Resi Jezzy. Where can
Not
people
the
find you?
Resi Jesse. You can find me at Resi Jesse on
Well,
Twitter.
maybe you show up more than like a week or two. I can get that name right.
Blame my
Spoilers, I
Wi-Fi.
won't.
You won't.
Confirmed, leak, exclusive. I will not get that name right.
Yeah, you can follow me at Resi Jesse on Twitter. And I didn't talk about it in this podcast because it's been like a month since I did it, but there's a incredible game called Immortality that came out from Sam Barlow and his new production company, Half Mermaid Productions. You can check out my review on KeenGamer. It's a really good game if you're into any like story-rich games, and if you've ever played a Sam Barlow game like Her Story or Telling Lies before, highly recommend it. Go play it now, and don't look into any spoilers.
And I'm pretty sure you did the review for KeenGamer. Am I right?
I did, yes.
Thank God I got that right, because that would have been a whole like, Jessica, edit that part out. I'm horrible with names, but it is a great article, which you can check out at keengamer.com. Noah, where can people find you?
You can find my YouTube account, my YouTube channel on YouTube. Type in the Black Rose, perhaps add the word Bethesda, and you'll find my logo. And from there, you can get to my Discord and my Twitter, which is my Twitter is the Black Rose 314, not the number 314. Yeah, so this is somewhat like a leak, but really it's just me giving you a hint about my next video. You
Go on,
might
Noah.
interpret-
Leak it.
Yeah.
Leak it.
Right.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive.
Inside scoop.
Yeah, so this next video, 2 videos ago, I did a video covering the Broken Mask incident in Fallout. So you might interpret this one as a sequel to that video, and also a sequel in Fallout canon. That's your hint.
Okay.
Interesting. Can you spoil the ending for me, please?
Yes.
No, don't.
I'm gonna start a new Twitter account, the Black Rose Direct. Chasing clout. Whoop, whoop. But speaking of Twitter, you can find me at LilMarco512. I also have The Last of Us Part 1 review up on KeenGamer. And hopefully it'll be done. It'll probably be done before next week's podcast. I will be reviewing Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm actually hearing like a lot of like good stuff about it, which I'm surprised. I thought it'd be like a meh kind of thing, but everyone's like,
Yeah.
it was actually pretty good. I'm like, oh, okay.
I can't wait.
But that'll be next week. You can find us at KeenGamer.com. Look up all the newest features, reviews, opinion pieces, news. No scoops. We don't have any scoops. Sorry.
And
Inside Scoop. We don't have any. By the way, Inside Scoop would be a perfect video game ice cream parlor, but we should all get into business. We'll talk about that on Keen Economics. Maybe that's one of like the tier goals in our Patreon. Well, that's how we'll launch it.
We've got too many tiers.
Nope. No, I mean, well, that's like the goal of how many people are joining. You know what I mean? If we hit this number, we'll start this podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Speaking of hidden numbers, hit 5 stars if you go to Spotify and Apple Podcasts for the KeenGamer podcast. We'll get a little bump up in the charts so more lovely people like yourself can listen. This is the KeenGamer podcast. I'm your host, Mark Callahan, and we hope you have oh my gosh, the Heron's back. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. We hope you have a great day.